Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of All Things Universal Orlando. Today we're going to be looking at the top 5 reasons you should be staying at Universal's Aventura Hotel. Welcome again everybody. I want to take a second and just explain why it's been such a long time before I've been able to put a video out. It's been about 6 weeks or more, and there's pretty good reason for that. Best reason is we went to Florida and spent a few weeks at Universal. That's of course the primary reason, and of course the getting back and getting into the flow of your schedule. And when I got back, things were pretty behind at work, so it took a couple of weeks to get those things caught up. And then I got really sick, and so I just want to apologize and let you know that won't happen again. I'm looking at making a video, at least one a week, and I've got a number of them scheduled. While we were at Universal, I was able to get tons and tons of footage to put on the green screen so that you guys can be a little more up to date. Another thing I wanted to do, and one of the top 5 that is going to be coming up, are the top 5 rides at Islands, and I didn't want to do that until we had ridden the new Hagrid roller coaster, which we rode a number of times, and it's going to be on that list and somewhere pretty high. Not going to tell you where, you're just going to have to watch the video to find out, but in short, we had a great time. One of the things I was really looking forward to when we went was staying at Aventura. We had never stayed there before. We pretty much stayed at every other resort except that one. I guess we haven't stayed at Endless Summer, and probably I won't get to stay there until next week, although you should know that I have family. My son lives in South Florida, and he is a pass holder, and he's often at Universal, and so I'm actually going to maybe get him to stay at the Endless Summer and get a review for you based on what he thought. He's a pretty good guy. I think you'll like him. In any event, what we're going to look at today are the top 5 reasons you should be staying at Aventura. I was blown away. We only stayed there one night, and the rest of our trip we stayed at Royal Pacific, which, as you guys know, is easily my favorite hotel, and nothing's changed. Still my favorite. But Aventura blew me away. If I'm honest, it's probably my now second favorite hotel that they have on site. I liked it better than anything else I've stayed at other than Royal Pacific. I was floored, frankly, at how amazing it was. I wasn't expecting much. It's an economy hotel. It's the cheapest thing they have, basically that and Endless Summer. And I was just blown away. I truly was. From the moment I walked in, and I guess that happens in all of their resorts, and probably every major resort you walk to, whether it's at Disney or Universal. There's just something about walking into the entry, the porte cochere, whatever you want to call it, of the hotel. There's just an amazing feeling. In part, it's because, the vacation is starting, and that was the case for us. This was the first place we went. But there's more to it than that. There's just something about the ambiance when you look around. This was amazing. But it wasn't even that. It was amazing from the exterior as well. When you walk outside and see the odd circular kind of shape that it has, and you look up and you see it just rises into the sky, and it was a beautiful day when we got there. And it's just an amazing experience, and it's one that I'll never forget. Truly, truly enjoyed it. But let's break down those top 5 reasons and show you some of the footage that we picked up and see what you think about it. So before we get going, I just want to remind you to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time we put a video out there. But let's get right to it.
Great Scott, number 5.
The 5th reason you should be staying at Universal's Aventura is the dining. This kind of surprised me. I mean, I knew that the 17th floor was a pretty cool restaurant, and in and of itself that the ambiance was going to be amazing. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. You're up high, the views are going to be great, and I think that's understood before you even get there. But man, was this amazing. When you get up there, it's different than you think it's going to be. It's not just the views, but the smells and the ambiance, and everything about it is amazing. It's a popular hangout for the people there. The only downside to it, in fact, the only downside I had about this whole thing was that it doesn't open until after 4 o'clock. So during the day, you can't go up there, or at least we couldn't go up there at the time we were there, and look out and see Orlando, see the theme parks from 17 floors up. That was my only critique of this at all. The food looked good, everything was amazing that I could see. But it wasn't just that. See, that's just the 17th floor. And I could talk and probably do a whole show about that, simply because of the ambiance. And we'll come back to that a little bit later in this countdown. But when you go into the lobby of this hotel, and in the back is kind of this food court that just expands and it goes on forever. And what they have is amazing. Yeah, fast casual dining with an urban-inspired design. Options for just about any palate. Doesn't matter what you like. I mean, they have Asian fare. They have pizza, like a pizza oven. They have grab-and-go stuff. There's a sushi bar. The pizzeria in particular. Now, we didn't eat a pizza there, but it looked good and it smelled good. And being married to an Italian, you can kind of tell when you have good pizza versus not good pizza. And this looked the part for sure. You had the kitchen providing fresh vegetables and salads, like I said, grab-and-go things. A lot of organic items, drinks, a creative burger joint that they had there. Even, I mean, if you're the pickiest eater that there is, and let's face it, when you go to theme parks, you're taking your kids more often than not if you have them. And kids are picky eaters these days. I don't know what's happened, but I mean, when I grew up, you ate what you were given, and if you didn't, you got in trouble. But that's not the case anymore, and I'm guilty of that. I have kids, and I don't force them to eat stuff they don't like. I guess I learned from my parents the wrong way. Whatever. In any event, the pickiest eater in the world is going to find something here at Aventura to enjoy. There's a coffee, a Starbucks there. And it's good, and we didn't have to wait in line. Now, fair enough, we went in September, but we didn't wait in line for anything. We were checked into the hotel. Everything was great. When we went upstairs to the 17th floor, there was very few people there. I mean, all things considered, it was just a great, great experience. And so that's the reason that dining, all of the restaurants, all of the food options, is the fifth reason you should be staying at Universal Aventura.
Number 4, boop boop doo boop.
Number 4 is location. Now, you might be thinking, that's kind of unfair. You could put location into the top 5 of any of these resorts, and if I haven't, I probably will, but it is fair because there's a benefit to staying on site versus those people who don't have or can't afford the luxury of staying on site. What I will say about Universal is that they've made staying on site very affordable. And we'll talk about pricing here in a little bit, but location is something that is important when you're on vacation. The less time traveling, the less time to and fro is a good thing, and Universal's maximize that. They have so much property that they've combined into this tight space, and yet it doesn't feel crowded or overcrowded. And so they have room to continue to expand and to continue to build even on the original property. Now, we all know about Epic Universe that's coming up, and that's going to have its own structure and its own ideal of what that's going to look like. But sticking with this, the Aventura is located right in the center, really, kind of the whole hub. It's kind of the centerpiece of that section of hotels, excluding Hard Rock and Portofino, which are on the other sides of the resort. But it's close enough to walk if you need. They have shuttle transportation to get you there, but what we did is we walked right across the street into Sapphire Falls, walked through that hotel, which is a beautiful resort, walked down the outside through where the falls are, got on the water taxi, and took that to the park. And that's what we did when we stayed at Aventura, and it was great. The people were great. Everything about it was great. It's close enough that you can come back midday and have lunch and then go back to the park for the afternoon, or come back for a swim, or doing whatever you want to do. There's nothing about the location of this hotel that isn't outstanding. It's across the street from Sapphire Falls. It's across the street the other way from Cabana Bay. So if you want to go use other swimming pools, and Aventura is not designed for kids necessarily, and so you might want to do that if you're staying there. Cabana Bay has 2 excellent pools. Sapphire Falls has some excellent pool options. So my point is, Aventura is ideally located in the center of where all of the Universal hotels and resorts are, and it's close enough to the parks that you can take advantage of its great location. That's the reason this is number 4 on the list.
3.5. Wait, 3 or 3.5?
Now, considering that we're staying in a economy resort on site at a major theme park, pricing has to be on this list, and it's the number 3 reason you should be staying here. We booked just for one night, so we didn't get any kind of discount other than our annual pass holder, which was relatively substantial. I think it was about 20% off of a one-night stay. But everything that I'm about to give you is for a 5-night stay, which qualifies for their stay longer, play longer rate. Now, I've touched on this in other videos, and you can get a breakdown if you want to go back and watch some of those. But for a 5-night stay for a family of 3, here's what you're going to be paying to stay on site at a Universal themed hotel. For a standard 2-queen room, $127 a night. That's not bad. You can do cheaper than that staying off-site, no doubt about it, and stay in a pretty nice hotel. But the benefits of being on site, the benefits of the theming are unmatched, and it's worth the extra money if you can afford it. For a Skyline 2-queen, which is of course higher up, which gives you a better view, and this is worth doing, $147.20 a night. So it goes up about $20 for the view. That's up to you as an individual or as a family to decide if that's worth paying for. $20 more for a view may be worth it if you're going to spend a lot of time in the hotel. If you're not, I don't know that it's worth paying that when the booking comes. Perhaps when you get there, maybe just ask for a higher placed room and they'll probably give you what they have available. We stayed on the 16th floor, and all I did was ask for it. I didn't book it, and we paid the regular standard 2-queen room night. But catch this. For a deluxe 2-queen room, which is a little bit more spacious, and if there's a downside to the rooms, they are smaller than the other Universal themed resorts. But for a deluxe 2-queen room, which is a larger size room, $155. That's less than a standard fare at Sapphire Falls, less than Cabana Bay, less than everywhere else with the exception of Endless Summer. My point being this. If you want to pay a little extra money for a bigger room, go ahead and do that. Maybe if you have 4 people staying, you might want to do it. Again, check your budget, but ask yourself this question. How long are you actually in the hotel? If you're like me, if you're like my family, not a lot. We're not there a lot. We're usually in the parks, we're usually in City Walk, we're usually doing something other than staying in the hotel. So for me, probably I wouldn't pay for the extra size room. I'd just deal with the standard, which is what we did, and we were very happy we did it. So price, the economy price that Universal has provided for any family to be able to save and stay on site is reasonable and worth it if you can do it.
Well, here's number 2.
The second reason is probably the thing that blew me away the most, even though I knew about it going in. I had heard that this was the most tech-friendly, tech-savvy hotel that Universal had. I had seen reviews online, much like most of you guys have done, and kind of knew what I was getting into. So I was expecting this to be a big deal. But there was just something awesome about it. You walk into the room, and when you see the room, you have this iPad that's there, and everything is, it's a minimalist kind of style. It's all very, very, not conservative, but contemporary in its design. Everything's new and modern and fresh. You control the room temperature on your iPad. You can sync your Netflix or Amazon Prime accounts on their TV with their system. You control everything from this iPad, and it's pretty awesome. And so when you get onto the iPad, and I don't have any footage of this, what you can see is it's set up ideally for someone to have everything accessible. Like it shows you where to go to change the temperature, how to set your TV up, or all of these things is very accessible, and the tech element of this hotel is phenomenal. We live in a day and age where everybody has a smartphone, everybody pretty much brings their laptop or their iPad and can function without using hotels provided computers and things like that. That's kind of a thing of the past. Aventura has maximized this by making everything available to you in your room. And there's something to be said about not having to leave your room to send an email. Now maybe that sounds archaic, we don't have to do that anymore with our cell phones. But the way they've set it up to make it so user-friendly, so easy, was just absolutely amazing. Everything about this was unbelievably cool. You can control the lighting of the room. You can order online or order from the food court downstairs. Everything is amazing. You can even the fitness center is controlled in a tech fashion. You go by the gym. Everything about this was tech friendly and amazing. And what was really cool are the little robots that they have in the lobby that will tell you a joke. They have candy inside of them. And I've heard, I don't know if this is true, so if somebody knows this is true, put this in the comments below. I've heard that they are going to start using these robots to deliver room service. Maybe not room service, but like if you want a soda from downstairs or something like that, they're going to bring these up to you. I think that would be an amazing thing to do. So the number 2 reason that you should be staying at Universal Aventura is it is super tech friendly and super cool. Now before we get to the number 1, I'm going to recap the top 5 and then give you an honorable mention. Number 5 is the dining. You have tons of options. The pickiest eater is going to find something. If you have kids, they're going to find something. You're going to find something. And if you want to get away, just you and your spouse while the kids do something else, go up to the 17th floor and enjoy the amazing views and the amazing food. Number 4 is location. I've already talked about this. I'm not going to belabor any of these points. It's close. It's close to everything, and it's great. Number 3 is the price. This is the lowest priced resort next to Endless Summer that is directly on site at Universal Orlando Resort. And it's worth it when you can factor in how close you are to everything. Number 2 is that it's the most tech-savvy, tech-friendly hotel I've ever seen. And that, to me, is worth it. Honorable mention. There are a lot of benefits to staying here. They're the same benefits, frankly, as every other hotel that is on site, but it's worth mentioning, and that's why I'm bringing it in as an honorable mention. When you stay here, you'll get the exclusive benefits of early park admission. Guys, if you don't take advantage of this, you're missing out. Get to the park 30 minutes early. This is how we were able to get on Hagrid's roller coaster, I think 3 or 4 times while we were there. We got to rope drop about 30 minutes before it happened at Islands, waited, which went by fast, walked right in, got in line, and we were on that ride within about 20 minutes every time. And it was worth doing. Take advantage of early park admission. Getting there before everybody else gets there beats the crowd, no matter when you go. And you'll be able to do a lot in the first part of your day that other people won't get to do by not taking advantage of early park admission. You're going to get the complimentary delivery service, like if you buy things in the theme park that they can send them to your room. You guys probably know all of the luxuries that you get from staying on site. If not, go to Universal Orlando's website and check them out for yourself. But there's just something to be said about staying on site, and I think that's also kind of a benefit. You have access to the water taxis and the shuttle services, and I think that Universal has maximized and done an amazing job with transportation. And so my honorable mention is all the benefits you get from staying on site. So here it is.
Hey, number 1.
The number 1 reason you should be staying at Universal's Aventura: the views. I can't tell you how awesome this is. When we walked into our room, the first thing that you see is the expanse of the view outside. Your room, the whole wall is a window, and you can just go up there and look out and see everything. And frankly, we walked all across the top when we went to the 17th floor, and no matter what side you're looking at, you've got a great view. One side you see Cabana Bay, the other side you see Sapphire Falls, and then the theme parks. It's just breathtaking, frankly. And on the side where you have Cabana Bay, you also see Volcano Bay, just a little bit in the distance. And it's as good during the evening as it is in the daytime. In fact, I might say it's better in the evening, when everything's illuminated and everything's lit up and you can see things in the different. There's just an excitement that is added to your stay and into your room by the views. If you go to the 17th floor where the rooftop bar and grill is, you have incredible views that you can just walk around and see everything. Do that. Don't miss that. Do it more than once. We did, and it was just spectacular. You'll be able to see the twists and turns of Rip Ride Rocket. You can see the Aventura or Islands of Adventure Lighthouse. You can see Volcano Bay. Everything about the stay here regarding views is amazing. Even when you just walk outside the front of Aventura and you look up at the expanse of the hotel, it's a beautiful thing to see. When you walk outside by the pool area and look around and just everything happening, frankly, I thought the views were unmatched. I can't imagine staying somewhere else with a better view. It's just a real view that you're seeing. It's not a themed thing. You're just seeing the theme parks in Orlando. It's worth doing. And when you factor in that you don't pay a lot of money to stay in one of these resorts, or in this resort particularly, to me, it's worth it. So the number 1 reason you should be staying here, of all reasons, is the views are just worth it. It kind of makes you want to stay in the hotel room a little more. It's enjoyable, it's fun, it's pleasant, and you won't see anything else like this, at least not yet. Give Universal some time, they'll probably do something maybe even a little better.